If you're thinking about moving to Winter Haven, Florida, there's a few things you need to know before you start packing those boxes, and some of those things might surprise you. Tune in and learn more about life in Winter Haven, Florida. I'm Chris Loschiavo with RE/MAX Heritage Professionals, and I live here in Winter Haven, Florida. I'm a part of the community here, and I've helped a lot of families move to the area. And so today I want to give you a breakdown of what it's like living here in Winter Haven and what kinds of things you should be looking for to determine whether or not Winter Haven is right for you. So the first reason that people move to Winter Haven and Polk County is our lifestyle. Winter Haven in particular, we're known as the Chain of Lake City, and that's because within the 33 square miles that is Winter Haven, there are 50 lakes. Yeah, 50 lakes in those 33 square miles. 24 of those lakes are interconnected via canal system. So you literally can boat from one lake to the other without ever leaving the boat. You don't have to put your boat up on a trailer, take it to another lake to explore that lake. You can literally go from lake to lake for 24 lakes in the city of Winter Haven. So imagine you get up early in the morning to go fishing, you bring your boat to the lake. Maybe you live on the lake. Again, there's a lot of lakefront property. You hop in your boat, you go early morning fishing. It gets to be lunchtime and you're hungry. You take your boat, you go through the chain, go to another lake, and you stop by Harborside or Tanner's Lakeside or Twisted Prop or any number of restaurants that we have that are on the water here in Winter Haven, and you grab your bite to eat for lunch. Then you hop in your boat again. Maybe now you want to do some water skiing. After all, we are the water skiing capital of the world. So you do some water skiing for a few hours. It's now dinner time, you're hungry, and so you want to boat up to another restaurant. Harborside's a great dinner place on the water, great seafood restaurant. You stop by, you grab your bite to eat, and then you can boat home or boat to wherever you launched your boat. And you spend a day on the lake without having to get in your car once you got to the lake. That is life in Winter Haven, if that's what you want. Winter Haven has a great downtown area. We have a lot of activities, lots of great restaurants, local shops, Savage, Aria Steakhouse, Arabella's Italian restaurant, Thai Haven Thai restaurant, lots of great restaurants downtown. Every First Friday, we do First Friday, where a lot of the shops and restaurants have specials. Savage serves their very famous paella only on First Friday. There's car shows, there's farmers markets, there's craft fairs. Community Fest was just a couple weeks ago, so there's lots of different things happening downtown. And yet it's not big. It's not like Orlando or Tampa. It's really got that small town feel. Winter Haven is a population of about 60,000 people, so very much a small town feel. You can get to know a lot of people here and not be lost in the crowd. I love Winter Haven, walking around downtown just to explore the shops and restaurants, and even just people watching Central Park. It's a great leisurely Saturday or Sunday. And the evenings, there are people downtown. It's free parking downtown, which is also unique these days, and so that still brings a lot of people to our downtown area. But the chain of lakes and the downtown is really part of the lifestyle here. The other thing that draws people to Winter Haven and Polk County is our cost of living. For a average house, average utilities, you're probably looking at $3,200 to $3,500 a year, all told, all in. The average house here, 3-bed, 2-bath, average square footage, nothing fancy, you're probably looking about $280,000 to $325,000. Not necessarily a brand new home, but also not a really old home that needs a lot of work. That's a pretty typical 3.2. For a newer home, you're probably looking at $350,000 to $400,000. We obviously have $1 million homes as well, but I'm talking about for the average person looking to move to Winter Haven. That's what you can look to spend on a home. Rent is anywhere from $1,800 to $2,200, which is why a lot of people look to purchase when they move here, because the difference is not that great. For the same home in Orlando or Tampa, you're looking to spend $375,000 to $400,000 or more, and your taxes are going to be higher, your gas is going to be higher, your cost of living in general is going to be higher. And so that attracts a lot of people to our area. You combine the lake life, the small town feel, and then the lower cost of living, and you really have kind of a can't miss situation. Polk County was the #1 county in 2023 where people moved to in the entire country. So out of all the counties in the U.S., Polk County was the one where the most people moved to. So we are seeing a lot of growth, which means there's a lot of opportunity. And in a little bit, I'll talk about some of the drawbacks that come with that. Who does Winter Haven attract for living here? We attract families. We have Legoland, Florida, right here in Winter Haven, so you don't need to drive far to go to a theme park. Someone looking for lake life is going to be attracted here. We have a large number of 55 and up communities. In fact, before Legoland was here, Winter Haven was really known as a retirement community. It's not that so much, but there are still a lot of 55 and up communities located in and around Winter Haven. So retirees are another subpopulation that looks to this area. Remote workers look to this area. Again, talking about Orlando and Tampa, we are halfway between the two cities. Hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic either way. So if you have a job in Orlando or Tampa and you just can't afford the housing prices in either of those two cities, then Winter Haven and Polk County is an ideal location for that, because the commute's not too bad. You hop on I-4, US 27, the Polk Parkway, and you can get to either of those two cities within an hour to hour and a half, depending on where in the city you're employed at. And you can get a lot more house for your money, as we talked about earlier. So a real advantage for remote workers, and again, lake living families all attract here. And we are starting to see a lot more people involved in the technology industry moving to this area as well. The I-4 is starting to become known as a tech corridor. Additionally, I was at a presentation yesterday, in fact, with the Winter Haven Center for Economic Development, and learned not just about the residential new builds going up in our area, and not just the retail commercial, but also the industrial projects that are coming to Winter Haven. And within the next couple years, there's going to be approximately 2,000 mid to high paying jobs coming to the city of Winter Haven. So we are primed for growth. Those are contracts that are signed with businesses moving here once the buildings are complete. So that's going to increase home values. It's going to increase the demand on our area, and that's going to be good for growth for our area. Now, I've talked about all the pros of living in Winter Haven and Polk County. There are some cons. If you haven't been in Florida in the summer, it's hot. And it's not just hot, it's really humid. And so you've got to be prepared for that. Up north, you don't go outside in the winter and the blizzard and all that. Here in the summer, you tend to stay inside in the air conditioning. So your AC bill can be a little higher in the summer because it is hot and humid. The hurricanes, some people really feel like is a major drawback. The reality is that we're far enough inland here in Winter Haven that most of the hurricane damage comes from storm surge on the coast. Certainly we can get damage from winds, but usually by the time the storm is this far inland, we're talking about a Category 2 or a Category 1. I've lived through several storms that have been direct hits, and we haven't experienced major damage to our home or to people that I know. Again, can get some, but not major. But that can be a drawback. Another drawback is it is a small town. It is not Orlando or Tampa, so you're looking for high-paced, action-packed nightlife. That's not Winter Haven. You're going to need to go to Orlando or Tampa for that. Even Lakeland doesn't really have a high-paced, very active nightlife, maybe a little bigger than Winter Haven, but it's not going to be Orlando or Tampa. And so if that's what you're looking for, then Winter Haven really may not be the fit for you. And then finally, I talked about the growth that's happening here in Winter Haven and Polk County in general. It is happening fast, and the infrastructure is not necessarily caught up with that. And so traffic can be a problem. Now, if you talk to the people that have lived here forever, they will tell you traffic's horrible. If you're coming here from New York, Chicago, somewhere in Los Angeles, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, traffic is nothing here. It just isn't. But it is getting worse. And so the infrastructure is not in place to handle the growth. So there's going to be some catching up that needs to happen as far as that goes. So those are the drawbacks of living in Winter Haven, Florida. If you are really seriously thinking about moving to Winter Haven or just want to explore the area more, let me be your boots on the ground in Winter Haven, Florida. I know the area well. I know this small community. I'm involved with the Winter Haven Soccer Club, our own little community-based soccer program. We have lots of activities like that with a small town feel, a get to know you, know everybody kind of community, and that's what Winter Haven really gives you. So if you are looking to move to the area, reach out to me, Chris Loschiavo with RE/MAX, 863-280-2201, or email me at chris@ithinkrealty.com. I hope to see you sometime in the future. Remember, you can't miss with Chris. Have a great day, everybody.